Hello, family. Angela Cage here with Cage Collaborations LLC. And today I want to talk to you about letting go of unforgiveness. This message was a special request from one of the Cage Collaboration LLC supporters. And they asked me to develop this message regarding unforgiveness. And ironically, at the time that they made the request, I was speaking with one of my beloved family members, and unforgiveness came up in that conversation as well. So I took that as confirmation that many people are struggling with unforgiveness, and this message is so needed. So I went out and was looking for quotes, and I found one about unforgiveness, and I'm not really sure who said it first, but the quote says, "Unforgiveness is like drinking poison and expecting someone else to die." And as I reflected on that quote, I thought about times when I harbored unforgiveness. I would hold on to that thing with both hands because I really thought of forgiveness in terms of a gift. And I did not want to give the gift of forgiveness to someone who I felt had done me wrong because I felt like forgiveness meant that I was absolving them of their responsibility or accountability in the situation. And I think other people can relate to that as well. Because again, I thought of the forgiveness in terms of, like, let's say, forgiving a debt. If someone owed me money and I said, "I've forgiven you of the debt that you owe me," then that means that you're no longer responsible for paying. And again, I think people can relate to that because people may be saying, "Why should I give someone a gift? This person who has caused me pain, caused me hurt, harm, or damage, why should I give them the gift of my forgiveness?" And this is exactly where I was at, y'all. Because for me, if you crossed me, I wasn't giving you nothing, anything, especially not my forgiveness, because I felt like you didn't deserve it. So that's where I was at. And again, I think people can relate to that. So, for the purposes of this message, we're not going to be talking about forgiveness or forgiving the other person. We're going to take that off the table and we're going to focus our energies and efforts on you taking back your power. We're going to be talking about how you can get to the place where someone else no longer has control over you and your emotions. And again, we're going to keep the focus on what's really important, and that's you, your peace, your sanity, and your emotional well being. Because harboring unforgiveness, it hurts you. It really doesn't hurt the other person, especially if that person ain't even thinking about you. So it does nothing to them. But I want to be 100% clear. When I speak about letting go of unforgiveness, I'm not saying that that makes the other person right. No, I'm not saying that at all. What I am saying is when we're talking about letting go of unforgiveness, we're talking about you reconciling the negative emotions that come up inside you so that they don't control you. That is the important part, for you to really hone in and focus on those negative emotions that come up. Now, you may be saying, "I've dealt with the unforgiveness. I've let that go. I moved on. I don't rock with them no more. I moved on. I'm good." And that very well may be true. And if it is true, then there's no harm in measuring it against this barometer. When you think about that person with whom that unforgiveness was related to, are there any negative feelings that come up? And if the answer is yes, then I'm here to tell you that there is some lingering unforgiveness. And the key to begin to let go of that unforgiveness, to reclaim and take back your power, to secure your emotional well being, the key to that is to continue to deal with those negative emotions until they dissipate. Because there should be no one, when you think about someone, there should be no one that gets you to a place when you think about them that you get mad and upset. And I know that there was a time for me that I would think about somebody and I would get so heated. And it wouldn't even have to be just the thought of the person. I could think about them, somebody could say their name, or I could be in the same space with the individual. We didn't even have to be interacting, but just being in the same room with the individual, it would cause me to get so pissed off because there was unforgiveness there. And I would feel my face getting so hot because I was hanging on to that. So I had to do the work to let go of that unforgiveness. Because here's the thing, There should be no person, not the sound of their voice, not the mention of their name, not the vision of their face that should cause me to have this visceral response when thinking that person or seeing that person. They shouldn't have that type of control over me. And I had to do the work in order to let go of harboring that unforgiveness so that I could think about this person and there would be no reaction. And that's how it should be. I should be able to think about the person who had done me wrong. Somebody should be able to mention their name, or they could even, I could hear the sound of their voice and there should be no response. I might think, oh, I really don't care for that person, and I keep it moving. That's how it should be. But if you find that there are those negative emotions, then you want to deal with those negative emotions. So let's say you see the person who you have this lingering unforgiveness with. And when you see them, you like, oh my goodness, here come this mammer jammer. And it's okay to think that, but you want to stop and check yourself because you don't want to get stuck there. You don't want to get stuck in that negative emotion, and you don't want to go down the rabbit hole of wallowing in negative emotion. But when you acknowledge and recognize that you're having that feeling, and just take a pause and say, why do I feel this way? And think about it and really answer the question. And when you answer that question, why do I feel this way? Keep analyzing, keep asking yourself why. Continue asking the why question until you can truly uncover the root cause of why this person creates all of those negative emotions within you. And what you may find is that root cause may be related to some fear or some hurt feelings. And if that's the case, then there may be some healing that needs to happen there. And if that is the case, you do need to do some healing work. You can pop on over to the YouTube channel and check out the message that I did on the healing process called Don't Skip the Process. But again, once you uncover that root cause, you want to continually address it until you get to the point where you don't have those negative feelings. You can see that person, you can hear their voice, someone can say their name, and it does nothing inside of you. Nothing wells up in you. That's when you know that you have taken back your power. They no longer have power over you. You have done the work to be able to reclaim your peace, and it no longer has power over you and your life. So when that happens, you can think about this person and there's no negative emotion that wells up inside of you. That's when you know that you have truly let go of unforgiveness. So I hope that you all will do the work to let go of the unforgiveness, because I want you all to win. And part of winning is not letting anything control you and your emotions. You have control. You are the master of your own destiny. No one else has control over that. So again, I want you all to win, and do that by letting go of unforgiveness. Make it a great day. I love you all always.